Hey guys, so today I decided to film a makeup tutorial on this look that I've been rocking lately. It incorporates a lot of mauves and pink colors, which is perfect for Valentine's Day. So if you want to look fab on Valentine's Day for your man, or you know, for yourself, if you're gonna go do your own thing or go hang out with your girlfriends. I really love this look. I'm obsessed. I've gotten so many compliments and I cannot blame anyone for thinking that this look is amazing because I'm obsessed. And I think that the colors really complement my skin tone very well. I've always hated my skin tone, always wished that I was a little bit on the paler side, but lately I've just been embracing what God gave me and just wearing a lot of colors and doing a lot of makeup looks that complement my skin tone, and I think it looks great. I decided to be a little extra and pop in some glitter because I just felt like it, I guess. So I'm actually filming this on my phone. I broke my tripod and haven't gotten around to order a new one on Amazon, so I'm just kind of filming on my phone, so the quality isn't gonna be as great as I wish it was, but I'm just working with what I have. But yeah, so if you want to see how I got this look, then just keep on watching. Starting off, I'm using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dipbrow in the shade Ebony and the number 12 brush from Anastasia Beverly Hills as well. I'm just following the natural shape of my eyebrows, lining the bottom, the top, filling in the middle, and then making sure that I make hair-like strokes on the front of my brow because that is actually where I lack hair the most. Next, I'm repeating the same steps on the other brow, but this one happens to be a little bit thinner than my other brow, so I am going to overdraw this one just a tad to make it as even looking as possible. Next, taking my NYX Above and Beyond Full Coverage Concealer in the shade Medium, I am taking yet another Anastasia Beverly Hills number 12 brush and using that to carve out my brows, making sure that I'm covering up any sparse hairs and making my brows as even as possible. After I'm done carving out my brows, I'm going to take this small angled flat top brush from TJ Maxx. I actually got it in a 4-pack set. It actually works pretty well at blending out my concealer. I'm just making sure that there are no harsh lines of concealer underneath or around my brows. Now onto the eyes, I'm using the Urban Decay Eyeshadow Primer Potion, and you guys, all I have to say is this stuff is absolutely amazing. If you have oily eyelids, you guys need to try this out. So for this look, I'm using the Too Faced Sweet Peach palette, which I already know is going to be my go-to palette this spring. I am absolutely obsessed with the colors and it smells like peaches. So I'm just starting off by using the shade Peaches and Cream, tapping off the excess, and setting my base down. I find that this helps blend my eyeshadow together more seamlessly. So next up, I'm using a Wet n Wild crease brush and using the shade Georgia. Georgia is a very light peachy pink color, which actually requires me to build it up a little bit more. So I'm going to continue blending it, building it up into the crease until I get the pigmentation I desire before moving on to the next shade. Next up, I'm using the shade Summer Yum and applying it to the crease. This is more of a rusty orange color and the shade is actually a lot more pigmented compared to the last shade. So I'm just using a very light hand to get the perfect mix of these two colors in my crease. Now you can definitely stop the eyeshadow there, but I wanted to darken mine up just a little bit. So I took Shadow Play from the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette and blended it into my crease. I know it's a little tedious, but I'm just going to continue to blend and blend until all the colors melt into each other and making sure there are no harsh lines. Moving on to the face, I'm taking the Smashbox Photofinish Foundation Primer and the L'Oreal Paris True Match Lumi Liquid Glow Prime and Highlight Illuminator in the shade Golden. I'm just mixing these two on the back of my hand and applying them to my face. For foundation, I am taking the Esteé Lauder Double Wear Stay in Place Makeup. This one is in the shade Wheat, and I'm applying this using a damp beauty blender, dabbing it onto my face, and blending it in using patting motions. Now, I typically don't use concealer underneath my eyes, but recently I haven't gotten a lot of sleep, and I just wanted to conceal the bags. So I'm using the Wet n Wild Illumi-naughty highlighting and concealing pen in the shade A Happy Medium. I'm just applying this underneath my eyes, my chin, my cupid's bow, nose, and the center of my forehead. And I'm just going to blend that in with a damp micro miracle sponge from Real Techniques. Now that I'm done blending out the concealer, I'm going to take the shade Lyric from the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette and apply that to all the areas that I applied the concealer. I'm going to leave it on for a couple of minutes just to make sure that it bakes and sets in place and doesn't move or crease. Now taking my Wet n Wild angled blush brush, I'm mixing Shadow Play and Subconscious and using it to contour the hollows of my cheek and the perimeters of my face. Now taking the same shade from before, I'm just going to use it to bake underneath my contour and carve it out. After I let it sit for a few minutes, I am going to dust off the powder with a small little powder brush. Next up, to bronze up the skin, I'm using the Tarte Amazonian Clay Waterproof Bronzer in the shade Park Avenue Princess. I'm just applying this using a fluffy Real Techniques blush brush. This bronzer is my absolute favorite. It's a ride or die. Obviously, it's very well loved. It has a little bit of a golden sheen to it, but I am obsessed with the way it looks with my skin. Using another Tarte Amazonian Clay product, this is their blush in the shade Party. I'm just applying it with an IT Cosmetics blush brush. Taking a small crease brush, this one is from Colourpop, I'm just going to apply Georgia and Summer Yum underneath my lash line. This brush was very disappointing, honestly. It was my first time trying it and it was just really stiff and really dense, but it got the job done, so. Now you can definitely stop that eyeshadow look there, but I wanted to be a little bit extra and add some glitter. So I took the Urban Decay Heavy Metal Glitter Eyeliner in the shade Midnight Cowboy and applied it just underneath my lash line. So I wanted to brighten up my eyes just a little bit more, so I took the Wet n Wild Color Icon Kohl eyeliner, and this one is in the shade Calling Your Buff. I'm applying that to my lower lash line and then applying some mascara to my bottom lashes. I'm avoiding my top lashes because I do have eyelash extensions. Now I'm taking the Urban Decay All Nighter setting spray and setting my makeup into place. Obviously, we can't forget about the highlight. I'm using the Anastasia Glow Kit in Sun Dipped. Using the shades Summer and Moonstone, I am going to mix those together with a Morphe M501 brush, tap off the excess, spray it with some All Nighter, and I find that this makes the highlight a lot more pigmented. I'm also going to apply the highlight to the tip of my nose, my Cupid's bow, and then I'm going to take a small e.l.f. crease brush and apply it to my brow bone and my inner corners. Now onto the lips, I'm going to be taking the NYX lip pencil in the shade Mauve and lining my top and bottom lips. And last but not least, I'm taking the Kat Von D liquid lipstick in the shade Lolita. This one is the OG. This one is my hands down favorite liquid lipstick formula of all time. It's not drying and it lasts for hours. And that's it for this video. If you guys enjoyed it, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next video.